If your knees complain by the stair, if a jar lid suddenly feels welded shut, grocery bags leave your arms shaking by the porch, that's not just getting older, that's muscle you've been quietly losing. And here's what might surprise you. Eggs, the food everyone tells you to eat more of, aren't the best tool for rebuilding it. 3 cheeses in your grocery store's dairy case do it better, and the third works almost twice as fast. Let's start with the one you've probably already got in your fridge, and the nutrient inside it most people over 60 aren't getting nearly enough of. Number 3, Parmesan. Parmesan looks like a garnish, a sprinkle on pasta, a crust on lasagna, but underneath that hard rind, it holds one of the highest concentrations of leucine of almost any food you can buy. Leucine is the amino acid that acts like a switch for muscle building. Flip it, and your body starts repairing tissue. Here's what matters after 60. That switch needs a much bigger push than it used to. Research on muscle protein synthesis in older adults shows you typically need around 3 grams of leucine in one meal to fully trigger that response, roughly 50% more than a younger adult needs. Now that leucine threshold hits people differently depending on your decade. Someone in their 60s usually needs a smaller push than someone in their 80s does. So tell me in the comments, how old are you? And what have you actually noticed? Jars, stairs, grocery bags? And tell me where you're watching from too, because in colder climates, people move less through the winter months, and that speeds up exactly the muscle loss we're talking about. I read every comment, and this community means a great deal to me. Your story matters. Now here's exactly how this plays out. It's also why so many people eat what looks like enough protein on paper and still keep losing strength. Year after year, the meal simply never crosses that threshold. Parmesan crosses it in a way very few everyday foods do. 100 grams, a bit over 3 ounces, carries somewhere close to 3.5 to 4 grams of leucine, putting it near the very top of the list, ahead of chicken, ahead of most cuts of beef. And because Parmesan is aged for a year or more, almost all of the lactose in it has already broken down. So even people who get uncomfortable with dairy can usually handle it fine. And that lactose point matters more than you'd think, especially once we get to timing, because timing is where most people get this wrong. Aim for 30 to 40 grams a day, about 1.5 ounces, roughly 2 to 3 tablespoons freshly grated. Split it, half within 30 minutes of any activity, even just a walk around the block, because that's when your muscles are most ready to use it. The other half with your evening meal to support repair while you sleep. 2 tablespoons stirred into an omelette, a bowl of lentil soup, or a plate of roasted vegetables is enough to hit that target. One thing most people don't know, not all Parmesan is equal. Pre-shredded, bagged Parmesan is often cut with cellulose, wood pulp, added as an anti-caking agent, which can get in the way of how well your body absorbs everything else in that meal. Look for Parmigiano Reggiano on the label, and for small white crunchy specks inside the cheese itself. Those are amino acid crystals, a good sign of a well-aged, high-protein wheel. Keep that label trick in mind, because it applies to more than just Parmesan. It'll matter again when we get to the 3rd cheese on this list. And here's a reasonable question. If leucine is the active ingredient, why not just take a leucine supplement and skip the cheese? You can, but whole foods like Parmesan bring calcium, phosphorus, and B vitamins, along with the leucine, all used in that same muscle repair process. A pill gives you one piece. The cheese gives you the whole toolkit. One caution, Parmesan is salty. If you're watching your blood pressure, keep it under 50 grams a day, and don't stack it with cured meats like salami or bacon in the same meal. The sodium adds up fast. Here's what that looked like for someone like Sylvia, 68, in Tulsa. She'd started avoiding stairs at work, taking the elevator even for 1 floor, and chalked it up to just getting older. She was skeptical that cheese, of all things, could be part of the answer. She'd spent years thinking of it as something to limit, not add. She started grating Parmesan over her breakfast eggs and her evening vegetables. Nothing else changed. A couple of months in, she told a friend the stairs at work didn't announce themselves the way they used to. Parmesan flips the switch. But there's a second cheese that does something Parmesan can't. It works on you while you're asleep, and it might be the most overlooked cheese of the 3. Number 2, cottage cheese. And I want to clear something up first because most people have this one backwards. It gets treated as diet food, something bland you eat when you're cutting calories, not something that builds anything. That reputation is wrong, and here is why. It's mostly casein, the slowest digesting protein found in food. It doesn't hit your system all at once, it trickles in for hours. That trickle matters more after 60 than it did at 30 because of something researchers call anabolic resistance. Your muscles need a bigger nudge to respond to protein than they used to, and a lot of that nudge gets wasted overnight while your body runs on stored reserves, including the ones sitting in your muscles. And there's a specific window where that reserve raiding does the most damage, which is exactly where cottage cheese steps in. A study of nearly 50 healthy older men, averaging around 72, had them drink a casein-based protein shake shortly before bed. Compared with the men who got a placebo, the ones who had the casein measurably increased how much new muscle protein their bodies built while they slept.
A broader review of that research puts the effective range at 20 to 40 grams of casein, taken about half an hour before sleep.
Researchers are still working out how much that nightly boost adds up to over months, but the overnight effect itself is well established. Here's why the timing works. When you're asleep, your body shifts into a kind of maintenance mode. It pulls resources from wherever it can reach them, and muscle tissue is an easy source if nothing else is available. Casein interrupts that, keeping a slow, steady supply of amino acids in your bloodstream for hours, so your body has less reason to break down muscle to get what it needs. You might wonder, why not just eat a bigger dinner, more chicken or steak in the evening, instead of cottage cheese before bed? Regular meal protein digests fast and is mostly gone within a couple of hours, long before the overnight window even starts. Casein is unusual because it clumps in the stomach and releases slowly. That's the entire reason it works differently than an evening steak would. The way to use it, about a cup, roughly 150 to 200 grams, 30 minutes or so before bed. Go for full fat or 2% rather than fat-free. The fat slows digestion down further, which is exactly what you want at night. Cinnamon and a few berries work well if it's too plain on its own. Skip flavored versions with granola or fruit jam mixed in. Those spike your blood sugar right before bed, working against the sleep you're trying to protect. 2 mistakes to watch for. First, whipped or low-fat cottage cheese often has less protein than the label makes it look like. Check for at least 13 to 15 grams of protein per 100 grams. Second, some brands pack in 400 milligrams of sodium or more per serving. Look for a low-sodium version if you're managing blood pressure. Same protein benefit, less strain. And never heat cottage cheese if you're eating it for this purpose. Cooking changes how the casein clumps and breaks down, so it won't give you that same slow release. If any of this is new to you, that's exactly why this channel exists. Hit subscribe so the next one lands when it's ready. And if someone in your life has started avoiding stairs or struggling with jars, send them this video. It might be exactly what they need today. Now, the third cheese on this list works differently than the first two, and it might be the most powerful of all, Warren. 74, in Cedar Falls, is a good example of what this can look like. He'd been waking up stiff most mornings and figured that was just what waking up felt like now. He started having a cup of low-sodium cottage cheese most nights. Nothing fancy, right before bed. He didn't change anything else. A few weeks in, he mentioned that mornings didn't feel like such a slow start anymore. Parmesan switches muscle building on. Cottage cheese feeds it through the night. But the last cheese on this list comes from a part of the cheese-making process almost everyone throws away, and it might work faster than the first two combined. Number 1. Ricotta. Quick question. Do you know where ricotta actually comes from? Most people don't, and the answer is exactly why it belongs at number 1. When cheesemakers make mozzarella or other hard cheeses, they drain off the leftover liquid, called whey, and usually throw it away. Ricotta is made by cooking that leftover whey a second time. So unlike almost every other cheese on this list, ricotta is fundamentally a whey cheese, not a curd cheese. That matters because whey protein is some of the fastest absorbing, most leucine-dense protein that exists in food. It floods your bloodstream with amino acids quickly, rather than slowly, a different job than the casein in cottage cheese. And that speed is exactly what makes the timing for this one different from the other two, which matters more than you'd guess. There's real research behind this, not just theory. A 13-week trial gave close to 400 older adults with early signs of muscle loss a leucine-enriched whey protein supplement twice a day, and by the end, the group getting the supplement showed measurable improvements in muscle mass and lower body function compared with a control group. A separate analysis pooling data
from multiple trials found older adults who combined whey protein with regular resistance activity, even just consistent walking and light strength work, saw meaningfully better grip strength and muscle mass than those doing the activity alone. The protein by itself isn't magic. It's what it does when it's paired with movement that makes the real difference. You might be thinking, isn't this just a whey protein shake with extra steps? Not quite. A scoop of whey powder gives you the protein and little else. Ricotta gives you that same fast-absorbing whey protein plus calcium, phosphorus, and vitamin A, in a food most people already know how to cook with. Same active ingredient, more of the supporting cast. That calcium connection matters beyond bone density too. Weak bones and weak muscles tend to travel together as people age, since the muscles stabilizing your joints rely on many of the same minerals. Your skeleton does. The best window for ricotta is after movement. A walk, gardening, climbing stairs, because that's when your muscles are primed to use fast-digesting protein right away. Half a cup on whole grain toast with a little olive oil, stirred into scrambled eggs, or blended into a smoothie with banana all work well. Go for whole milk ricotta rather than low fat. Unless your doctor has you on a specific fat restriction, the fat helps you absorb vitamin D and K2, both of which your muscles and bones also need. The mistake most people make with ricotta is treating it as dessert, chocolate, sugar, eaten after a big meal, which spikes insulin and pushes your body towards storing fat instead of building muscle. Use it as a savory post-activity food 4 or 5 times a week, rather than an occasional treat.
And since more protein means more nitrogen for your kidneys to process, keep your water intake up while you're doing this.
Joan's story is a good example of this. She's 71 in Reno, and she'd started using a cane after a bad stretch of leg weakness. She'd more or less accepted that a wheelchair might be next. She began adding ricotta to lunch most days, and took a short walk most evenings. Nothing more dramatic than that. 9 weeks in, she told her daughter she'd walk to the mailbox and back without needing to sit down halfway. So here's what to remember. Parmesan flips the switch that tells your body to start building. Cottage cheese keeps that process fed through the night when most people are quietly losing ground. And ricotta moves fast. It's the one to reach for right after you've been active. None of these work like a magic pill on their own. Parmesan beats a leucine capsule. Cottage cheese beats a late steak. Ricotta beats a protein shake, not because pills and powders don't work, but because whole food brings the rest of the toolkit. Along with it, they work because they finally give your body enough of what it's been asking for all along. Tell me in the comments which one you're going to try first. And if this changed the way you'll look at cheese, share it with someone who could use it too.
Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. This video is for general education, not medical advice.
Talk to your doctor before changing your diet, especially if you manage blood pressure, kidney disease, or diabetes.